Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are Sean Diddy Combs and the low-life losers that are literally shucking and jiving, doing the thing, you have literally announced, I know you already heard, but I had to come and talk about it, that Diddy wants to be an advocate for domestic violence. And I said, okay, even though Cassie's people have come out swinging, all the victims have come out swinging. But then he said, and I kid you not, he needs to be released from jail in order to counsel. I don't know if Diddy's team is thinking this through, but if I was Judge Aaron, the first thing I would say is, I applaud your efforts, and you know where you'll do the most good? You can become the Mother Teresa of Cell Block 4 and keep your it used to be narrow, keep your ASS behind bars. I'm confused. How does Diddy want to counsel people, even though, how are you counseling people and you haven't even finished your program? But literally, that's like Pookie from New Jack City wanting to counsel people on the dangers of drugs, I guess, if we watch you in motion. But also, why do you need to be released to do that? I think you would do the most. I think you would do the most behind bars. I think that's where you would really make a big difference with your brethren. Speak directly to your flock since you want to act like you Jesus. First of all, ain't nobody coming to hear you sing Otis. And second of all, I've been on vacation, but I'm back now. But I've been on social media, and the only people touting this are low-life losers or people that have no problem being affiliated with losers. Again, I get it. There's a certain type of man and woman that somehow, whenever a man commits violence against a woman, they want to excuse it. And as soon as they find out there might have been any type of relationship, you might have told that person you love them, all of a sudden it's completely excused. I realize there's a certain type of loser old head that life has passed them around, right, passed them over. They realize they never gonna achieve their dreams, so they want to live vicariously through Diddy. Live vicariously through that mofo. But let's know your dreams and aspirations are gonna wind you up in jail. There's a certain type of young guy, well, I don't know, are any YNs checking for Diddy? Diddy is more like old head fantasies. Anyway, let's get into this because this is directly from Rolling Stones, and they have been cursing them the F out. This is a Roundtree Dylan special, so you know it's very, very well researched. They said Diddy has a reported plan to get out of federal custody and counsel domestic violence abusers is striking a nerve with his accusers. First of all, who would be dumb enough to do this? I'm going to go live to talk about Mark Agnifilio's interview, but I'm glad that interview came out, okay? I am glad. Why, there are a bunch of paid lackeys and probably only got a few pennies because their services aren't even worth being paid for, saying, oh my God, it was lies about what happened in court. On one hand, I get it, right? I believe they are working as agents of Diddy because if they get everybody to be quiet, this bullshit can be pushed. But on the other hand, I'm glad that everybody saw that interview with Mark Agnifilio because you could see the disgusting, nonsensical arguments that he made. These are the same ones he made at court. These are the same ones that the jury said, all right, bet. Now you see what I was looking at and what I was dealing with and how nonsensical it was. But let's continue, okay? And again, they said, Douglas Wigdor said, this is utterly preposterous, okay? That's Cassie's lawyer. How are you going to counsel someone else that you haven't even done the work for yourself? This is manipulation at its best, okay? Another source who alleges they were physically assaulted by Diddy in the 2010s, corroborating that story, they also said, it's making a mockery of the system. It's a mockery of everyone he's harmed. Another alleged victim now pursuing litigation against Combs says he needs intensive therapy. Again, it is a mockery, but at this point, should we really be looking at Diddy and blaming him for this? If you were facing life in jail, I'm sure you do, well, not life, but a lot in jail, I'm sure you would do anything you could to get out. At this point, we really need to start looking at the people supporting Diddy, the people going out of their way to attack women into maintaining silence so they can push forward a narrative that allows them to do whatever they want in their lives. I don't think this is about Diddy anymore. I think it's a litmus test about the desperate, the broke, the depraved. And again, being broke doesn't make someone desperate or depraved. I think the brokenness is making these people with low moral characters desperate and depraved. But also, and I was talking to my girl Darla, right, from ABC News. What's up? And what's up, Vandra? Anyway, right? The whole point of it is that we were talking about is that, and she brought up a good point, that a lot of people might feel like Diddy is doing, if what he did wasn't that bad, then maybe what they did in secret or in private isn't that bad too. Again, nobody knows for sure, but getting into the psychology of people that want to excuse Diddy is not. Again, no one believes this. Diddy supporters don't even believe this. This is just some dumb PR campaign he's doing because he wants to see if they can throw spaghetti against the wall and make it stick. None of his supporters believe it, but they believe it's a good enough excuse for him to praise whatever else is going on, okay? Now, there is a chorus of criticism followed one of the trial lawyers, Alexander Shapiro, saying that Alexander Shapiro, that's his appeals lawyer. She was in court with him. She said he hopes to become an anti-domestic violence counselor to help in whatever ways he can to encourage other people not to do this and to really help in positive ways in the future. Let me tell you something. If you guys don't follow Katie Rocks, you should. Diddy is a future faker like a mug. You've been a billionaire for how long? And you are now just trying to see how you can help, how you can change. You are a future faker. You are promising us something in the future in order to get what you want now, which is to get free. But if you were in the trial, you would know that's what Diddy seem to do to all the employees that testified, to everybody, whether they were on his side or not. He promised them something in the future in order to get something extracted out of them now. And then he led them to believe that he was somehow doing them a favor. How, when you haven't even gotten yourself together, are you promising to help others? And that is supposed to buy you freedom. And we're supposed to trust after you beat Jane senseless, when you knew you had the feds watching, when you knew what you were doing was illegal. You don't think laws apply to you. You knew the feds were watching. You knew out of everything, even everything if they said was a lie, and it wasn't. But even if you believe that, you knew getting prostitutes across state lines was illegal, and you still did it. This man don't fear God. He don't respect the law. He doesn't do anything. And now he's sitting in front of the public telling us something stupid. And I get why his lawyers are doing it. They're getting paid tens of millions of dollars to go out here and gaslight a nation. And they're going to be able to get other monsters that they get out of jail, right? What do they care as long as they're not sitting in there? But my question is to the public at this point. And my question is to the people that are Diddy supporters, that claim to be fake journalists with no credentials, that to claim to be this, to claim to be that. What are you getting out of it? Besides being on a team of a depraved monster. Again, no one believes this. Diddy is now becoming a litmus test for the moral, in my opinion, and the immoral. For the people that will sell their soul and your soul for a penny, and the people that won't. And again, where are they going with this? You're going to become a domestic violence counselor? How? Where? You got billions. Why don't you start it right now? You have billions. Start it right now. Start it right now, but you won't. You got T.D. Jakes, which is scary. He's supposed to be out of church. T.D. Jakes, how do you even know that God forgave this man? Who are you? Literally, you got the church now getting involved, saying you had discussion. T.D. Jakes, I'm sure you are a multimillionaire. Diddy, you've been a billionaire. Now all of a sudden that you want to get out of jail, you're talking about things that can happen in the community, not even things that you're going to do. Again, future faking. Things that you will do if you get out. But if you want to see those good things that Diddy has in store, you're going to have to let this bad boy out. Y'all, this is a travesty and it's a mess, and nobody's falling for it. I'm going to go live later to actually talk about it because, yeah. Listen, I'm going to see y'all on live in about an hour or two if you're watching this video. If not, watch the live playback because we got a lot to talk about. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.